Dameshek here. Week 12's in the book, so let's get right to it. Just remember, players and coaches, don't get angry at me if I call your name. Ultimately, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Let it begin! At number 4. I said at number 4. What's going on here?
Sorry for taking so long. That's totally on me. So there was a couple of things I had to do first, maybe use the bathroom.
Cleveland Browns, everybody. Let's move on. At number 3, the wilting flower named Vontaze Burfict for this shameful flop. Yeah, this bit of acting drew a flag, but forget the broad comedy. I'm still partial to his performance in last January's playoffs. You know, that time he pretended the game was over when there was still over a minute and a half left?
Vontaze Burfict! He's sprinting toward the locker.
Oh, still good. Now it's time for the Everyman, presented by the Campbell's Chunky Everyman All-Star League. And this week it goes to Broncos head coach Gary Kubiak, who eschewed a tie and instead tried to win the game.
You play to win the game.
Yes, of course you do, especially when you remember where the Broncos currently sit, namely atop the football mountain. A win would also put him in the catbird seat for the playoffs. To be honest, I don't know what a catbird seat is, but I do know it's good. As it is, the Broncos are still in relatively fine shape at 7-4, and for what it's worth, in a sport that loves platitudes about courage and being bold and winning isn't everything, it's the only thing, at least Kubiak went for that only thing. One more thing from the AFC West. I love Derek Carr before the finger injury. After, I'm positively spellbound. He's imbued with the Force, don't you know? He's more machine now than man, evil and twisted, just like the black hole likes it. At number 2, real quick, one more thing from that dandy Sunday night game. Trevor Siemian sure was nails late in the game, making some big-time throws, which begs the question, is he now good? And if so, what gives, scouts? As if Dak's rookie season isn't enough, now there's another guy who slipped through the cracks? I know I shouldn't be surprised when the GOAT was a 6th rounder, but at some point, we need to ask if the Combine exists solely so coaches and scouts have an excuse to go eat at St. Elmo's Steakhouse 3 times in 1 week on the company's dime. And that brings me to number 1 in this week's brown paper bag of shame, which goes to that last drive by the Bengals in Charm City on Sunday. With the season basically hanging in the balance, the Red Rifle had 4 passes batted down at the line, then fumbled the ball away. Maybe he needs one of those black gloves. You know, generations from now, football fans will look back at the Marvin Lewis era and wonder how, during a time when most coaches got about 6 games to prove their worth, did a coach who achieved so little keep his job for so long? And a very, very old me will still not be able to provide a good answer. Best I can come up with is, Marv's Bengals have benefited from the low expectations of the fans. After years of woe, making the playoffs was good enough for Queen City denizens. But thanks to LeBron and almost the tribe, Cleveland is no longer Ohio's biggest punchline. And being 0-7 in January ain't good enough anymore. That's why you get this. It's the brown paper bag of shame. Wear it well, Marv. You can share it with Andy, too. Till next time, try not to embarrass yourselves.
Shek.